What's your name and how long have you been working at Smartfix for?
My name's Josh. I've been working at Smartfix for 5 years.
What was the company like when you first started here?
Oh, it was a while ago. When I first started, it was tiny, actually. It was probably myself and 5 other blokes.
Yeah.
Did electrical only. So, yeah, it was a very different situation to what it is now.
Were you all quoting and doing the works, or were you just like...
No, we had one quota at that time.
Yeah.
But, I think there was 3 of us, 4 of us on the tools and 1 quota.
What was the biggest challenge when you first started?
Probably the customers, to be honest with you. Previous jobs before that didn't really have any customer interaction. They were mining based and new housing, so learning to deal with customers and face to face was probably the biggest challenge initially.
At what moment did you realise that the company was really growing?
It's been growing since day one when I started, to be honest. As soon as I started, he was looking at hiring more and more and more. At that point, like I said very early, I was like, okay, he wants to grow, he wants to expand, so straight away.
Seeing that mentality, did that keep you around? Were you excited by the thought of growth? Or?
Definitely, because he actually got a lot of input from the installers and sort of where we're at with the jobs, how we think, additional people might help, how it might be good, bad, whatever. So yeah, it was really nice to see that he valued our input and it felt like we were part of the growth.
How do you think Smartfix has changed since you first started here?
Oh, so much. So much. Initially it was tiny, right? But
Yeah.
now it's multi-trade. So with that comes a lot of the processes, the doing the things the right way, making sure everything's done correctly, safely, that side of things. With the smaller businesses, it's kind of, should be right, we'll get it done. Can't be like that anymore, especially with the bigger companies. So yeah.
Is there anything in particular that you're most proud of helping build here as the company grew?
Oh, lots. Probably the most would be the culture, I think. Pride myself on getting to know the guys really well and building that sense of team. Enjoy catching up with the boys for a beer. That's probably, the culture around the company is what I like to think that I helped with.
How important do you think that is in seeing a company like this be successful when it grows?
It's really important. It's very easy to get distracted by the size of the company and I suppose the policies and the structures. The thing that keeps everyone at the company is the culture. And, just being able to come back here for a beer on a Friday and talk about stuff. And I think that helps a big time in just retention.
Yeah.
Keeping guys here.
What do you think a turning point for the company was?
I think the biggest turning point was definitely going multi-trade. Like I said, initially when I first started, it was only electrical. And then we started to dabble in a bit of aircon. And then when we made that decision to go full multi-trade, that was a big turning point in everything we did, our whole brand, our whole company. So that was definitely it.
Is there a big risk with going multi-trade?
Yes and no. Yes, because you need to have the right people in place that know the right, the specifics around each trade. So the more trades you have, the more people you need with the knowledge. It's not so much a risk, it's just more of a attributing factor to being able to do it. But it's super beneficial in that we can offer services that no one else can. We go to a reno, we can do every part of it, stuff like that. So it just makes it a lot easier.
What do you think makes a strong team in your department?
Communication's huge. So we like to get everyone together for meetings and we speak about all the stuff they've struggled with throughout the week, throughout the month, any sort of customer feedback they've had. And we like to use that to help the guys that haven't had those situations yet, but they might know how to handle it next time it comes around.
What type of person do you think succeeds here at Smartfix?
Someone who can think on their feet, someone who's malleable, keen to learn. No 2 days are the same here, so every situation you walk into has its own solution. So someone who wants to learn, wants to figure that out, that's probably the best person for someone here.
How do you support your staff day to day?
Oh, hundreds and hundreds of phone calls. Now, a big part of what I do is like the technical knowledge around the electrical side specifically. So day to day, heaps of calls on how do we do this? Can we do this? Should we do this? But that's probably the biggest part is just my knowledge around the electrical side of things.
What do you expect from someone joining your team?
Like I said, just a willingness to learn. So I don't think there's anyone who could walk into this job and know how to do it. You've got to be taught. So in order to be taught, you've got to be willing to learn. So if you're keen to learn, we're keen to teach you.
And is there any standards that Smartfix doesn't refuse to compromise on?
Yeah, safety. Definitely safety. We'll always put safety first. So there's never a situation where we would do a job that we don't feel is safe or the right way to do it. So safety and compliance also huge. So obviously electrical, plumbing, they're licensed trades. So we won't be doing any jobs that we can't put our ticket on it and say we're happy with that job.
What do you think separates a professional company from an average one?
I suppose for us specifically, it'd be our lifetime guarantee. There's a lot of companies out there that'd be happy to, do a job for you and do it nice and cheap, but having that confidence that you can call that company 12 months later if there is an issue, and knowing that they'll answer and knowing that they'll come out and have a look at and fix it if there is an issue. I think that's probably the biggest difference between a good company and a great one.
Yeah, is there many companies that offer a lifetime guarantee?
Not that I know of, no. I think we're pretty unique in that way.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of companies that might say it but haven't really been around long enough to prove it. So we've been around long enough that we've been to a lot of jobs where we have, buggered them up a bit and we fix them. So that's I like to hang my hat on that, is if we do get it wrong, we'll fix it.
Yeah, awesome. What mistakes do you see other companies making?
Lots. We make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It's impossible to not. But I suppose electrically specific, you do see a lot of companies who might, cut corners or adjust the scope of works to suit the customer's wants or their, how much they can afford to pay for whatever the job might be. But for me, a good fix is a permanent fix. So if you don't want it to keep happening, then do it right the first time. And I think that's something that we've learned, is we do it properly the first time and it doesn't come back. It's a permanent solution.
Yeah, that sort of leads into my next question of what does quality work mean to you?
Quality for me, again, big one, safety, compliance, those things have to be ticked. They're mandatory for me. But in terms of quality, I think it's in the eye of the beholder. So if we walk away from a job and the customer is happy with whatever we've done, I'm happy with it. If they're not happy with it, nor am I. So that's probably where I draw the line with that.
Have you ever thought about leaving Smartfix? And if so, what made you stay?
I have, and I did not stay. I left. I was probably about a year into being here, and I decided to start my own company. And Kane, Smartfix, was very supportive of that, and he helped me out a lot. And then not long into it, he offered me a job back in the office to do some of the background work. And having run my own business, it was stressful and it was hard work. It was way longer hours than I thought it would have been. So I jumped at the opportunity and I came straight back.
Yeah, what were the sort of biggest challenges you faced initially when starting your own business?
Financial, obviously, was a big one. A lot of people underestimate how much it costs to start up a business. Simple things like a vehicle. That's cool, you go buy a car, but you've got to fill it. It's expensive. So financially it was big. Didn't have a team support that we do here, so there's not people sending off the invoices, there's not people checking over the jobs, you're doing all of that yourself. So it was time consuming was probably the biggest one.
What keeps you motivated here today?
My biggest motivation would probably be the search for ease. I thrive on structure, processes, and making sure they're in place and they're structured well, in that it makes it easy for everyone. So my motivation is trying to make it easy for everyone else and make the process from when a customer calls us to when we've done the job and walk off site, I want that to be as pain-free as possible for everyone involved.
Yeah, awesome. Is there anything you're implementing at the moment to make that process easier, or do you think it's like at a pretty good standard at the moment?
I think it's pretty good at the moment. We've learned a lot of lessons along the way in terms of our processes, but some of the things we're implementing at the moment are just real customer-driven stuff, trying to make sure that the customer's happy with everything. So no real processes at the moment on that, but yeah, just comfortable that the service that we're offering is the service they're getting and they're happy with that.
What makes you proud to put the Smartfix logo on your shirt?
Lots. I love working here. I have worked here for a long time. I've got no intention of leaving either, so very proud of working here. The thing that I love about putting on a shirt every day is we are a service and we serve our customers, and we do that to the best of our ability. And some of the feedback we get from our customers just makes it feel really good about, we're helping, we're doing the right thing.
Can you tell me, where do you see the company going in the next few years?
Hopefully not growing. I think we've done a lot of growth, and I think we're sort of hitting a spot now where we're at a manageable level, and it's a good ratio of the amount of staff we have and how much we can personalise it with the customer. I think with major growth comes a little bit of distance between the company and the customer. So I think we're at a good level with that. So the next few years, I think probably just perfecting those processes and just making the whole experience with the customer an enjoyable one and making sure that's right.
Yeah. Is this sort of the first year or the first point where the companies realise that maybe they don't want to keep growing and that they found like a good level to stay at?
Yeah, definitely. We grew quickly for a long period of time. So we scaled all the way up and then we scaled back a bit. And I think in doing that, we found the sweet spot. And that's where all these other processes are coming in and trying to make this sweet spot where we're at sustainable and make it beneficial for everyone. So ourselves, the customers, everywhere along the way.
What excites you about the future here?
Oh, a lot. There's always things that we're working on in the background. It's not always, doesn't always eventuate, doesn't always get seen by everyone, but a lot of the prospects that are coming up in terms of our app, our new home shield that we're coming out. So there's lots of things to be excited about.
Is there any opportunities that exist at the company now that didn't when you first started?
All of them.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like for me personally, it's a massive experience in growing as a person throughout different roles and everything within the company. But I think we actually have experienced guys, work experienced guys with us now. So we never really offered that before.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to give the younger kids a bit of insight into what day-to-day looks like as a tradie.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Can you tell me why someone should join Smartfix today?
Heaps of reasons. Like I said, I love the culture here. It's great. We've got a really good group of guys, especially on the road. The office staff's fantastic. So there's a lot of support and help everywhere you turn. The experiences you'll have along the way, the people you'll meet, and just everything you learn. It's a great place to learn lots of different areas, not just one specific thing.
What type of person will thrive here long term?
Long term, I think you've got to be, like I said, you've got to be willing to learn. There's plenty of opportunities within this company to learn and to grow. If you're not the kind of person who wants to learn, if you're happy with what you're doing and you want to do that, that's all good. But someone who would really thrive at this company is someone who wants to learn, wants to gain new experiences and really challenge themselves.
What would you say to someone considering applying?
Do it. Do it.
Awesome.
We've got heaps of spots available. It's forever changing. So just put yourself out there.
Sweet.
Cool.